is that, well, he didn't know it was wrong because he used to do it essentially all the time in his home country. There's nothing wrong with that in his home country. Well, that's because in his home country it's governed by Islam, and beating children who are disobedient is nothing wrong with that in Islam. All right, how about another one? Imams making the news all over Europe. We've got a molester, child molester. We've got a child, what would you call that? A beater, a child abuser, a child molester, a Muslim imam, leader of a mosque. We have in England another Muslim imam in England, a child abuser, and then a third Muslim imam in Spain, a woman stalker. Let's read that right now. Madrid, February 9th, 2010. A judge in the court of the province of Tarragona has banned a radical imam in the Catalonian town of Canut from coming within a certain distance of a moderate Muslim woman who accused the man, that is the Muslim imam, from repeatedly threatening her for her Western behavior, reports Al Pay today. The same restraining order was issued by the judge against another 3 individuals who were associated with the imam, who accused of taking part in the threats against the woman. According to El Pay, 31-year-old Fatima Guilan of Moroccan origin, employed as a cultural mediator by the municipality of Cunit, was repeatedly threatened by the imam. Why was she repeatedly threatened by this Muslim religious leader in Spain? Because, number one, she was not wearing a hijab. Number two, why? Because she drove a car. Can you believe the audacity? Number three, for spending time with Spanish people who are not Muslims. You remember that surah that says, don't have anything to do with unbelievers? We get all these Muslims calling all the time, say, oh, I got many Christian and Jew friends. That's not according to the Quran. You shouldn't have any Christian and Jew friends. Right. According to the Quran, according to this imam, you shouldn't deal with anybody except Muslims. I know we got some callers. Hang in there. In about 10 minutes, we're going to have a break. And as soon as the break's over, we're going to get your calls. But we've got to finish this out here. All right. And then also for not fasting during Ramadan. The man reportedly organized a defamatory campaign against her in order to get her fired from the job within her municipality. So we've got 3 imams in Europe making the news. What are they doing? 3 Muslim leaders in Europe. The first one, molesting young boys in England. The second one, abusing young boys in England. The third one, let's see, what would you say? Harassing moderate Muslim women in Spain. Next off, a sleep technician in Toronto, Canada, is charged with sexual assault on a 10-year-old girl. A Scarborough sleep technician appeared in court Friday morning on the charge that he had sexually assaulted a 10-year-old patient. Mohammed Shahid, 43, has been charged with 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of sexual exploitation after a young girl's visit to the overnight sleep clinic near Birchmount Road and Lawrence Avenue East. Toronto police said the girl's mother had taken her to Scarborough Clinic at 3 p.m. because of the sleeping disorder. The girl later claimed that she had been sexually assaulted while she was with the technician. The girl was awake during the assault. And anyways, very interesting. You know, here we have in Toronto, Canada, a Muslim who is there, monitoring the person who's come in to a doctor's office to try to get relief because she has a sleep disorder. So what does the Muslim do? 10-year-old girl takes advantage, sexually exploits the patient. I tell you what, friends, I don't know about you, but I don't want a Muslim doctor. I don't want a Muslim pilot. I don't want a Muslim taxi cab driver. I don't want a Muslim bus driver. You know why? Because I hate Muslims? No, because look what Muslims are doing. There's a Muslim in London the other day. One of these big bus drivers, Muslim. So, listen to the pride in this Muslim. Now, he thought he was really doing something special there. He stops at the time of prayer. He in his bus route, got a bus full of English people. He gets out of the bus. He locks the door from the outside. He gets on the ground and prays to Mecca, takes 5 minutes, gets back in the bus, and takes off. Meanwhile, those people on the bus don't know that. I don't want to, you say you hate Muslims. No, look what Muslims are doing. And the issue is not so much what they're doing, but the fact that they keep doing it and have been doing it ever since Islam started, because they are manifesting what Islam is. Islam is hate, Islam is force, Islam is fear, Islam is murder. And I think we're seeing that even Islam is perversion, not just perversion of religion, but perversion of relationships, perversion with relationships with God and with man and with women, as we see.
And the worst part of all that is that the world is starting to worry about being so politically correct that we don't want to offend anybody. We're letting them get away with all that.
Absolutely. And I want you to talk about that a little bit later on, Brother Hamoudi, some more. Here's another article in Austria, Europe. Female genital mutilation remains a problem, a group warns. Between 6,000 and 8,000 women in Austria have been forced to undergo genital mutilation. Bayer, a member of the Australian Platform Against Female Genital Mutilation, says many parents believe they are doing their daughters a favor by forcing them to undergo it. Very interesting. Not only is this a violation of human rights, it leaves victims mentally and physically damaged for the rest of their lives. And it doesn't say, so this is a politically correct article, but who are doing this? Who's doing this? Not the Christians. This is Muslims. Muslims mutilating the genitals of their daughters. In Turkey, we see that this is a horrible story. In Turkey, an honor killing. A girl was buried alive. They digged a pit in the ground. They threw this man and his father, grandfather, threw their granddaughter, in a pit that they dug while she was still alive, tied her hands, and then slowly killed her by covering her in dirt. What a terrible story. A 16-year-old girl was buried alive by relatives in southeastern Turkey in a gruesome honor killing carried out. Why? Why did they kill her? Because she reportedly befriended boys. Her crime was that she talked to boys, Brother Hamoudi, and for this, the father and the grandfather buried her alive. It says a subsequent post-mortem examination revealed that this young girl had a significant amount of soil in her lungs and stomach, indicating that she was buried alive and conscious. Can you imagine? Can you imagine doing that to any human, let alone your daughter? But this is Islam. This is what we see. Why do we see it time and time again in Islam? The blood of the children is made halal unto the Muslim if, in fact, those children are to disobey Islam, to go against Islam, or to become apostates. And in the mind of many Muslims, if their children break the laws of Islam, they are as apostates. And after all, there is no death penalty enforced against parents who kill their children in Islam, and that's just the way it is. In Germany, a mother of 4 beheaded. Very interesting, Brother Hamoudi. It says, in 37-year-old Ibtisam, a mom of 4, was beheaded in Kerpenhorum in northern Westphalia, Germany. Her children, 6, 11, 14, and 16, found the body in a pool of blood. In addition, the fingers were cut off of the victim. Judging according to the Arabic name of the victim, it deals possibly with an honor, beheading, and amputation. Not possibly. Not possibly. The woman's beheaded and her fingertips are cut off. What does this sound like? How about the Quran? Surah 8, verse 12 and following. Remember, thy Lord inspired the angels with this message. I am with you. Give firmness to the believers. I will instill terror into the hearts of unbelievers. Smite ye above their necks and smite off every fingertip of them. Time and time again, women, children being killed in the name of Islam. Another article, the Taliban, in order to try to defeat the Americans and British and other forces in Afghanistan, are now using children to plant bombs, improvise explosive devices. Boys as young as 12 are being used by the Taliban to plant bombs designed to kill and maim British troops in Afghanistan. We find that, why do they do that? Very simply because the British troops and the American troops are not likely to shoot a 12-year-old, but these Muslims don't care. These 12-year-old kids get killed as long as they can kill Americans. Here's another one. This one sent in by our sister Ann in Toronto. Thank you so much for sending that in. Rape victim. Now listen to this. This will probably be this is our last article before we go to a break. And I have a lot of information about Islam in homosexuality, perversion, all sorts of sexual sin, I think, that promotes what's been taking place. But listen to this last article sent in by Ann from Toronto. A rape victim in Bangladesh receives 101 lashes